Hey, this is Bruce Boudreau, and you're listening to Empty Betters with Nick, Mack, and Harrison.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to episode 162 of Empty Betters. I'm your host, Harrison Scholes. I'm going to toss it across the screen to my co-host, Nick Manella. What's going on, my friend?
What's going on, dude? Wellness check on you. Got some football-related news today that I don't think you would be too happy about. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, as good as you can be when you are a Baltimore Ravens fan this day and age. You know what? We're not going to talk about today. We just interviewed our good friend Stephen
I
Baker.
like it.
Definitely a big kudos and thank you to him for coming on the show. That interview will be in the middle of the podcast, but we just talked about the L word that shall not be named. And yeah, he gave some thoughts on that. I gave some thoughts on that. I've had some emotional swings today. I even had my human resources department reach out to me. So things are going great.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a roller coaster today. So thou shall not be named. We're gonna stick with that for the rest of time.
I like
Mac. All right, now we're gonna toss it off to our other co-host over in Wisco, Mac Vogel. What's going on, my friend?
Not much, just living large. There's still snow on the ground out here, so just hoping that I can be on a beach sooner rather than later in the state of Wisconsin. But yeah, it's not looking like that's happening too soon. So
I'm definitely like with you on the beach thing though. Lately, I've been like here, look, I was drinking Land Shark.
Yep.
Like
there's something about the spring where it's just like
Yeah.
it's such a tease. It's like, oh, you're right here. Like, I just want the summer. So
And I know that like Maryland's gonna get at least 2 more snowfalls before.
Oh yeah, no, we're not done. We're definitely not done.
God damn it, Nick. You had to say that because I've been thinking in the back of my head, but I'm praying to God. You get Masters weekend coming up, and it's
Yep.
like that's when you hope that everything turns your way, but
Yeah.
funny feeling. So
Mm-hmm.
stay tuned. But yeah, as mentioned, Stephen Baker, he's our interview guest. You will find that interview in the middle of the episode. We got some league news we'll talk about, a great State of the Union that I am so excited for at the end of the show. Yeah. So for the QOTD, I will toss it off to Mac.
All right, so we're going to get in and out this time, all right? Real simple, real quick. Bing, bang, boom. Which state shape would make the best couch?
Wow, that's a great question, actually.
Oh man.
That's a great question.
Am I allowed to turn the state into a different like position, or is it as it appears on the map of the United States?
You can move it to face your TV.
Okay, can I like turn it upside down?
No, you can only rotate it,
pivot
it. Yeah,
gotcha.
Left and right. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, what a question!
You can't
That's
flip
creative.
you can't mirror it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Are you sober when you think of these?
I literally almost every time think of it about somewhere between 30 seconds and 2 minutes before I say it. This one was closer to about 2 minutes before, but
okay. Thank you for the
oh man. All right.
I think there's an obvious answer here.
Is it Nebraska?
See, the obvious answer feels like it should be California, right? It's a long ass just couch, and it's got a little indent, so you can kind of semicircle it in front of your TV.
It's like a sectional that's been bent out a little bit.
Right, exactly. But then there's Florida or Idaho, where you're that's kind of cool because Idaho one has one of those seats with the footrest on it, and then it just has normal seats on the other side.
I mean, I feel like Florida is a great L section option, but I hear you with the California take.
Yeah.
I feel like a bean bag, like one of those giant love sack ones that's the size or shape of Texas could be cool.
Yeah. I feel like West Virginia ends up being a bean bag, basically.
Okay.
Just a big sack.
Gotcha.
I'm looking at the map here. What else? I feel like the coasts get a little bias here because you get the water formation. I think that let's see here.
North Carolina could be all right.
Louisiana kind of looks like a booster seat.
That
Yeah.
yeah, that it does. I feel like maybe Minnesota could be a little comfortable. It's got like a little
Okay.
it's got like a little U shape going on the
Yeah.
east side of the state. I don't
Right.
hate that.
Nice.
What are some final answers? Because I'm hearing a lot of jib jab, but not a lot
I'm
of
thinking
final
it's got to
answers.
be like Idaho or I'm Idaho or California for me. I think it's
I'm
got to be it.
I'm gonna go North Dakota. It's a pull-out sofa, and then South Dakota's the pull-out mattress.
Okay,
Wow.
that's pretty good. I will
That's
allow it.
pretty good. Well, I have an L section already, so I guess I'll stick with it. I'll go with Florida, but damn, that's a hell of a question.
Thank you.
I
It
feel
was an
like
important one,
I
as
feel
they
like
always are.
Tennessee's a sleeper, in my opinion.
Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
Nice.
sleeper
No
pick.
footrests though. Come on.
No footrest, you're right.
yeah.
Okay. My brain really had to get the motor going there. So thanks for getting the juices flowing. I appreciate that.
Serves as a
Comment
nice
your
warm
answer.
up, you know?
Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
watching on YouTube, comment your answer to let us know what you think the most comfortable couch state would be. And if you're listening, comment on whatever social platforms this goes on because wow, that was incredible. Great
I
job,
think
Mac.
like people are gonna be like checking their coffee for like mushrooms now in the morning.
Yeah, well, you know what? Speaking of comfy couches, there's something else that can keep you comfy. And let me tell you about our friends at Brackish Life. Brackish Life is perfect if you grew up on the water and outdoors like us. We've got a wide selection of gear from very comfy UV shirts, very comfy hats, Real Bay apparel made by Real Bay people. Head to www.brackish.life today to check them out. A little salty, a little fresh, Brackish Life. If you want to stay comfy on the beach this spring and summer, Brackish Life is definitely the brand for you.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's hop into the league news. Let's start it off with a big one that came over let's say the pipeline. Evgeny Kuznetsov allegedly has requested a trade out of Washington. Kuzi has since denied the report, claiming people want, quote, clicks and shares. That was coming to us from Tarek El Bashir, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Boys, what are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, I don't know how credible we can probably say that this is. This seemed like a very much, I heard it through the grapevine, kind of he said, she said. The fact that Kuzi pretty much just came out and said that I did not say this, they're, altering headlines to get clicks and stuff. That kind of just tells me everything I need to know. Now, that being said, talk to me about return.
Yeah, I do think I would be remiss if I didn't mention, nice word by me. Apparently this was not the first time. This has been ongoing for the last, 2 seasons, I think the report
Yeah.
said. Mac, I'd love to hear your take.
I mean, listen, it wouldn't surprise me if he had asked for a trade, but I would just say that if you're going to report that, you better be sure about it. That's not something you want to spread a rumor about if it isn't true. Kuzi's basically saying that he didn't say that. So I don't know. You don't know who to believe as a fan, really. But I'm also kind of with Nick where I'm like, I'm listening. I mean,
Go on.
Kuzi's been an amazing piece of the team for a long time, but I think that the inconsistency he has shown would at least make me want to see what we could get, answer some phone calls on the subject, and especially while he's still got some value to him too.
Absolutely. I don't know what you could get for Evgeny Kuznetsov on that trade market right now, but I would be interested to at least find out. I think this is just something where you, Mac, like you said, before you want to report this, you want to be sure about this, because I mean, imagine being, and I'm sure, the Caps teammates know that this is all smoke and mirrors, but what if that was like your buddy and out of nowhere, you just see that on The Athletic on your phone, he requested a trade? That sucks. That's not fun, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, interesting one there. I mean, obviously, I don't think he's going to come out and say, "Yep, I won out." Like he's not going to do that.
That's
right?
a thing, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to totally dismiss the report, but yeah, I don't know. Just a weird time to release that too, in my opinion. Strange. Seems like it's kind of just going to stir dirt up more than anything else.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to move on from that. Kent Johnson, did you guys see what the Michigan kid did in terms of pulling off the Michigan in a game over the weekend.
Yep, that was nasty.
Was it the OT winner?
I think it was the best one I've ever seen.
I agree.
I think it was the most fluid. He didn't really stop and like dick around back there. He did it all in one motion. It was surprising to everyone on the ice. No one knew it was coming. Very well executed. Smoothest one I've seen.
Definitely.
And for people at home who don't know like who Kent Johnson is, the kid went to Michigan. He was a stud, pulled off the Michigan in a game. And I would say that in a couple of years here, you know, he's going to have his name thrown in there with Trevor Zegras in terms of the creativity,
Probably.
the hands. That guy's got some serious talent. So,
and those who don't know, the Michigan goal is the one where you pick this puck up with your stick and you like lacrosse style put the puck in that.
Yeah.
Yep. Clayton Keller over in Arizona. He's currently riding a 12-game point streak and became the 4th Coyote ever to reach 80 points in a season. The Yotes, they've been playing really good hockey lately. Took Colorado to a shootout last night until Val Nichushkin buried it. Thoughts on, you know, what are the Yotes? I hate
like
to
what
say
the
it
hell
like
are
this.
you doing?
What are you doing?
Come on.
Why are you winning?
It's just like they took a page out of the New York Jets book. It's like, dude, you're right there. You can almost touch Connor Bedard. Like
it's like that Texans touchdown pass
yes,
or whatever.
like,
where it's like, yeah, nice touchdown, you freaking idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Like,
don't know.
I'm not saying like you pack it in, but I don't know. Maybe you call up half of Tucson and put them in the lineup.
Happy for Keller, though. I mean, an American-born guy. He's obviously was a highly touted prospect coming out, and you know, going to Arizona. It's sometimes easy to get forgotten, but he's putting his name on the map, and he's been lighting it up. So good for him.
Absolutely.
All right, David Pastrnak, a team for the Bruins. Obviously, a team that we've talked about pretty much every episode. It feels like for the last 3 months, but he finally scores his 50th goal. So he's got 51 on the season now, while simultaneously earning his 600th career point.
That was fast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I feel like he just entered
feels
the
like
league.
it feels like he just like
had he hit 50 before, or is this a first for him?
First time.
And it's kind of like, I know we've talked about the Bruins enough, but I feel like this isn't getting enough attention because there's a guy that's got 10 more goals than he does.
Yeah. And he's might get to the 20 more goals than this guy does, which is pretty nuts to think about. Yeah. But kudos to Pasta. I mean, I know that we don't really like the Bruins too much on this podcast, but you can't hate Pasta. I mean,
got to give credit where credit's due.
Absolutely. I mean, that dude is absolutely one of the 10 counting defensemen and goalies best players in the like NHL altogether, I would say.
Currently, yeah. Do you guys like Pastrnak? I feel like I gravitate towards him. He just seems like it's kind of got don't kill me. A little bit of Ovi vibes. He's like kind of silly, kind of goofy, like just kind of.
I don't really have anything against him. I
other than the fact that he plays on the Bruins.
No, literally, really, yeah, that's like the only thing I could think to say bad about the guy. But yeah, he's fine. He's cool.
All right, we're gonna move out west to LA. The LA Kings extended their point streak to 12 games after defeating the St. Louis Blues last night. They are currently the hottest team in the NHL with 2 weeks left in the season. If the playoffs started today, we would have a rematch of round 1 from last season where we would have Edmonton versus the Kings, with the Kings having home ice.
Guys, I am so on this team. I don't know if it's the Morgan Miller effect or what, but I and maybe it's also has something to do with the Caps being like basically officially dead as a doornail, even though I said that last week. Now they really are. I might just bandwagon the Kings into the postseason here. I feel like they're going to be a really fun team to root for. I don't really want them to play the Oilers, though. That's the one thing.
I don't either, but like, let's not forget they did take them 7. What was that, like 2 years ago?
That was last year.
That was last year. Jesus. That's terrifying. I'm totally with you on this. That is a fun hockey team to watch. That is a fun hockey team to root for, and they've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, and they're putting up a lot of goals. Like I feel like last season maybe they were more of a defensive team. They were just trying to hold Edmonton off the board, but now they can bring it.
They have previously gotten the boring hockey team stamp of approval. Like they were very much like an Islander type team.
Well, when they won those cups, they would win games like 1-0, like all the time.
Yeah, and it was just quick shutting it down, and like Kopitar scoring like 2 goals or Doughty scoring 2 goals, and then no one else did
And then he's
anything.
on the ice for 35 minutes.
Right. Yeah. But no, it's a different team and it's fun to watch.
First round matchup. They play Edmonton. Who you taking?
I mean, my gut right now still tells me Edmonton, but if this Kings streak like goes all the way into the postseason, man, I don't know. If they go in that hot, that could be something to look out for.
Kings in 7.
Ooh. I love the confidence in that one. No stutter, just straight to it.
Why not?
Someone's got to do it.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah, I don't know who I'd pick. We'll save that off for the round 1 previews. Patrick Kane, he surpassed Phil Housley for second all time amongst U.S.-born players in points. Kane now has 1,233 career points, and he now trails Mike Modano for sole possession of first place by 141 points. I would say we're about 2 seasons away from him passing
Probably
Modano at this point.
Yeah, depending on where he plays next year.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
Greatest American-born player ever?
I think so.
Would you put him there?
Yeah, probably.
3 Stanley Cups. First American to be drafted first overall.
Probably be the all-time leading scorer amongst U.S.-born players when it's all said and done. Yeah, I think that checks the boxes, eh?
Yeah.
With this overtime winner against Arizona over the weekend, Connor McDavid joins Austin Matthews, Steven Stamkos, and Alex Ovechkin as the only 60-goal scorer in the salary cap era. He's the first Edmonton Oiler to score 60 since Wayne Gretzky. If he scores 70, he will be the first player, I think the year was since 1995-6 or 92-3. It was either Lemieux or Jagr to score 70.
That's nuts.
So weekly Connor McDavid jerk-off session. I mean, what are you going to say?
I think I don't know if he'll get to 70. I think he'll definitely get to like 150 points though, which is crazy to say because he's at like 131 now, right?
Yeah, he's got like 137, I think.
Oh my goodness.
He's got 9 games left to score 10 goals to hit 70. So,
I mean, if anyone can do it.
I'd have to look closer at the schedule, but I definitely think there's a good chance he does.
Did you guys see the clip of his overtime winner? Did you watch that?
Yeah.
He gets a breakaway. He does this forehand move. He misses. He tries to break his stick against the boards. And then he realizes Leon steals the puck. He's like, oh, shit, I should probably get back into play. Does the exact same breakaway move, scores, and then sellies.
Yeah, it's insane. And that first pass, too, from Draisaitl was crazy. Like,
yeah. Guy got voted, I think he got voted best passer in the NHLPA poll by the Players Association. So,
oh, how the mighty have fallen, Nicholas Backstrom.
We'll talk cap soon. Don't worry. I'm waiting for it. Other weekly Connor jerk-off sesh. Connor Bedard, 71 goals, 72 assists, 143 points in 57 games this season.
Oh, and he played 10 less games than like everyone else in the league and still has like 20 more goals than they do.
71 goals in 57 games.
143 points in 57 games is just like the most absurd stat line I've ever seen in my life. Like,
it's like what, 2.2 points per game. I mean,
just about.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Come back next week. Stay tuned. The more
seriously,
the weekly Connors segment. The New Jersey Devils have officially clinched a playoff spot. They finished 28th in the league last year. This means that underrated playoff legend Eric Howlow will be headed back to the playoffs for the 10th straight season on his 7th different team. That is wild.
Best stat of the episode. Eric
That's
Howlow
a fun one.
Has made the playoffs every year he's been in the NHL.
And he's been on 7
different teams.
That's crazy. I actually used to really like this guy. I still do. I mean, his playing style is just fun. He's gritty.
Yeah. It begs the question, like, is this guy like the missing ingredient that the Washington Capitals need?
Yeah, sure. Sign me up.
Right.
You can convince me anything is the right choice for us at this point.
Props to the Devils, man. I mean, you heard it in that stat. 28th in the league last year. They are taking the league by storm this season. Third in the NHL overall. I would not want to play them. They're young and they're hungry. And I think a team across the Hudson is going to have a serious battle on their hands in the first round. So
I agree.
Buckle up. I cannot wait for that series. That's going to be a good one.
That should be a good one.
If Jersey doesn't pass Carolina, I mean, I definitely think there's a world that happens.
I could see it.
So,
I mean, they're only 3 points apart now.
Yep. All right. Well, let's move on to the discussion portion of the episode. But before we do, I think Nick has a word from our sponsor, Kane Footwear.
Absolutely. We want to take this moment to remind you guys to go check out the link in our bio to get your pair of Kane Revive shoes today. Kane Revive shoes are made from sustainable materials such as sugarcane, and the Kane Revive shoe is made with bounce back technology to help you recover and work out the best way possible. Head to the link in our bio today to get a pair of the most comfortable shoes you will ever own.
Nick, I'll toss it off to you for this discussion portion.
Sure. Did you guys see the AJ Greer, Mike Hoffman cross-checking incident?
I did.
So Greer was suspended for a game for cross-checking Habs forward Mike Hoffman in, like, for lack of a better description, the mouth. Hoffman, hops on social media a couple days after the incident, after they dropped the one game sussy, and just basically expressed his displeasure with Department of Player Safety for, only giving this guy a game. I think he had like some snarky comment about how he used to get suspended for like cross-checking guys in the back of the head, and it was like automatically 2 games or something like that. I don't know. What did you guys think of the incident, and what did you think of the suspension and the reaction from Hoffman?
Reaction was pretty entertaining. There were a lot of comments on there, some of which I won't recite, but let's just say Mike Hoffman has not had the cleanest history in terms of, playing by the rule book. So
Sens fans still hate that guy, apparently.
Yeah, that's really, if you know, I don't really feel like bringing that up, but just the cross check itself. I mean, it was directly in the face. It kind of looked like Hoffman got his hands up too, but I think a game is fine. However, I mean, if you see the aftermath in that video he posted, he is stitched up to the gillies.
Yeah, he was sutured.
I mean, I could hear the argument that one's not enough, but then I would say, okay, 2. Like, it's not like he's going to get 5 or 8.
I don't think it was anything more than 2. 3, I thought would have been too much. But
yeah, I would probably agree.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about Hoffman going online to bitch and complain about it, but I kind of don't really care. It just seems like something, I don't know, I wouldn't do. Like, I wouldn't go airing that out that way, but teach their own.
I'm kind of numb from this whole L word saga that won't be named about players going to social media and doing things themselves. So anything goes at this point.
Very true.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's
There
not a
you
big
go.
deal. I'm not sad. All right, let's move on to the interview. Thanks, Stephen, for coming on. You're going to hear from Stephen Baker right now.
Alrighty, it's now my pleasure to welcome back to the podcast for the 3rd time, if I'm not mistaken, one of my best friends, Stephen Baker, friend of the program. Steve, thanks for joining.
What's going on, boys? Happy to be back. Always a pleasure to come and shoot the shit with you guys. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think you just wanted to come back on and like rag about how you still have like the top rated episode in our history on this show.
It's wild.
I was listening to the one you guys did with Rick last week.
Yeah.
So I got number 3. I got to come back for number 4.
And then you can be the number 1 guest as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. How does that feel that you're the most listened to guest of all time? And we've had like professional NHL players.
Like, dude, you beat Ole Kolzig.
Carl Alsner.
Zach Jones plays in the show. Like, yeah.
What's funny too is I actually, shout out to you guys, building a brand. I'll wear the EB stuff to like class and stuff, and people recognize it. And like, oh, you're a fan of Empty Betters? I'm like, yeah, I'm a fan. Like, I'm buddies with all the guys. Like, I've been on the show a couple of times. So
that's sick. Love that.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Love to hear it.
It's the funniest story whenever we bring that up. I always get a chuckle out of that.
All right, so what do we want to start with here? I mean, you're wearing the Islanders shirt. Seems like we might as well start with them. They're currently in a playoff spot. Right? I didn't fuck that up. They should still be.
You are correct.
All right, well, where to begin? What do we think of the team right now, Steve? What's the feelings?
I think they're gonna get in.
It's starting to seem that way. I mean, we got what 9 games left for them.
Yeah. So the whole thing for the longest time, they had like 4 games in hand, like every team that was chasing them.
Yeah.
So that sucked, right? Every time you look at the standings, like, okay, they got 5 points, but they're also 4 games in hand.
Yeah.
And then luckily the Penguins and Sabres all kind of started to do some losing. So they were
Yep.
able to survive that. And I think they're looking good. I mean, they've got a tough stretch. I think they played the Lightning twice in the last like 6 games, but
Yeah.
Caps twice, in DC both times. So like those are not going to be easy games.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, even if they get in, they're probably looking at a matchup with either Boston, Carolina, or maybe New Jersey.
Right.
I think if they could somehow land Jersey, that would be a sick playoff series, and I think they'd be able to win it potentially.
I mean, I think they can beat anybody. I mean, granted, that's just like my bias talking, but with just like the old boring Islanders, the way they play,
Right.
like they can steal a series. Sorokin can stand on his head and help beat the Bruins. Like
Sorokin's been arguably one of the best goalies in the whole league this year.
mhm.
I was gonna
If
say
they
short.
won more games, he go ahead.
No, you go. My bad.
If they had like a few more wins, he'd probably be the Vezina front runner.
Right.
It's exactly what I was gonna say. It's short of Allmark. I feel like
Yeah.
Sorokin's been the top dog, especially in the Metro all season. He's been better than Shesterkin, in my opinion, all year.
Yeah. Oh, this year for sure he has.
What's the feeling with the Caps? I know you kind of got dual citizenship here with both teams. So what's the scoop?
I just want Ovi to score goals at this point.
Yeah. Mood.
Yeah.
Like
there
Ovi
are
scores goals and like no more injuries for the next 2 to
Yeah.
5 business years would be great.
right. That
Yeah.
sounds great to me.
And I like Mac and I chatted a lot like during the deadline. I like the moves that they made because it's almost like it feels like not a rebuild. It's like a real retool, if you will. Like they're going in, dealing some pieces that need to get rid of, but then also getting assets right back in return. So
yeah.
I think those moves they made are like sort of what we would say about that Verona contract or that Verona trade. Like it was the right move at the right time. Like you were going to have to do something at some point. This was the best you thought you could do. The Sandine thing is working out great. So
yep.
Yeah,
Gotta
that's
love
looking
that.
good. What about I think there's a couple of hot topics we can talk about regarding the Caps, more geared towards like the off season. There's been a lot of rumors going around. One is that the Caps might move LaPierre or McMichael this off season for a top 6 winger. How would we feel about that?
See, I don't know enough about those prospects to like really judge. But it seems to make sense because you got to win now, right? Like
Yeah.
Ovi's not getting any younger. You don't want to wait another 3 years on these guys
Yeah.
because by the time 3 years is up, that's probably it, you know?
Right. And it seems to me the consensus on like Caps Twitter, at least, and this is how I feel as well, is I'd be more okay with moving McMichael because I feel like we've seen a good chunk of what he can do. I get we haven't really given him like a full chance to like develop, but I don't know. I haven't really been impressed with the few chances he's got. And like you said, I'm like, if we could get a nice asset that helps us be better right now, I'm cool with that one. LaPierre, for some reason, I'm a little more attached to, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
I think the ceiling's a little bit higher with Hendricks too. I mean, like you said, McMichael probably hasn't had like a full kick at the can yet, but I think from what we've seen from Hendricks and certainly what we know about him, prior to his injuries in junior, I think you definitely say he would have a higher ceiling.
Yeah. All right. Other thing I want to talk about with the Caps is a potential head coaching change. How do we feel about Peter Laviolette right now? What's the let's test the temperature here.
I feel like they need to go like younger with a coach, more modern, like and do the thing that these winning teams are doing right now. I feel like Lavi's just a little bit too old school. I don't think that's going to get it done for them.
Nick, do you have a response for that at all?
I just think the results like that you would expect from Peter Laviolette, like taking over a team, haven't happened yet, and that's why this is like being talked about. I did see the Jeff Halpern rumors, and my first thought was, one, love Halpy. Who doesn't? Maryland guy, gotta love that.
Yeah.
But two, do you remember that like stretch of like Dale Hunter, Adam Oates,
Yeah.
where it was just like, could
No,
we
I thought the
stop
exact
hiring
same
former
thing.
players to coach?
I thought the exact same thing when I saw that, especially because I was like, he's an assistant coach now, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I know how that one goes too. Like, I don't think I want that. I've also been the guy defending Laviolette all season long, being like, he's doing the best with the chips he was dealt, whatever, the cards he was dealt. But at this point, whether it's his fault or not, it clearly seems like he's lost the room. It just feels to me like when you watch a team like the Caps not get up for some of those big games down the stretch, like the Penguins one that we just had, like just not be up for the task that was like so important. To me, that's something where whether it's the coach's direct fault or not, they just don't care anymore. Like that he's just not, they're not responding to him. So I'm up for the change, but I'm with you. I don't really want Halpern. The only one I saw that I'd be somewhat interested in is was it Carberry?
Yeah.
He's a younger guy. He's a much younger guy, like Steve, you suggested. I think he's like 41. And he was the Bears coach and is now the Leafs assistant coach.
Halpern's an assistant, but he's not like a Laviolette like prodigy, not like a Lane Lambert taking over for Trotz where he was with him for more. Like, he just came in as like a Capitals guy, right?
Well, no, Halpern is what with the Lightning right now, isn't he?
Mhm.
He's like
an assistant with the Lightning.
assistant with the Lightning, and
Yeah,
he's been working because if you recall, at the end of Halpern's career with the Caps, I believe he got traded to the Lightning for like his last like year or two, and then he kind of just like scored a gig with them right after retirement, and so
didn't
he's
he
been
play
like
in
working
Montreal
there.
too, or am I making that up?
You might be right about that. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
I think like talking about Laviolette and Mac, I think you make a great point about him, maybe losing the room and the Caps not being able to get up for these big games. For me, it's really the games that they shouldn't have to get up for that they just can't seem to handle. And that's where my issues are with the coaching staff. Like, I mean, we talked about it, 1,000 times since it's happened. They had that amazing weekend where they have that win in Boston and then they turn around and lay a turd the next day against the Sharks, who are like the second worst team in hockey. So
yeah, the consistency is another sign where it's like clearly whatever Laviolette is saying in there, they're like rolling their eyes and they're like, yeah, fuck off, dude. We don't care.
This is third year?
Yeah, third year. Yep.
I think so.
Third year, right?
That's enough time for him to make a dent, make a run that just isn't happening. Like,
yeah, no first round victories, and a missed playoff season. That's enough for me.
I also think they're gonna, I don't want to say go into panic mode, but you don't really like, you're living on borrowed time at this point with your window. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Especially with the way that division has gotten. I would say that window is all but shut at this point, but I don't think that you can ask that team to pack it in while you have Alex Ovechkin. I think that that's just an unwritten rule that they're going to continue. And
they've essentially promised him to try and win until he's done. So you got to stick to it.
Might even be a written rule at this point.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think Mac, wasn't it part of his contract where they were like, we're gonna put together a good team, like you're still gonna score.
I mean, I don't know if that's on paper anywhere, but that was the understanding to my knowledge.
Behind closed doors somewhere there was a handshake and like
probably.
So Steven, one of the most polarizing Caps players on Twitter this year has been Anthony Mantha. I know he's one of the players who's always talked about getting moved. I know Tarek El-Bashir put out that Athletic article today saying that they should look at moving him over the summer. Where do you stand on that? Do you think that the hate that this guy's getting is deserved or no?
I think the hate is totally deserved. Granted, somehow they ended up winning that trade. Like, obviously that situation sucks, but that's that. But he's just so lazy. He's just like a big lazy guy, doesn't finish his checks. Sure, he's got like a good shot, but I don't think he's the kind of guy you want on your team.
No, great assist on Saturday night though, right?
Oh
I mean,
yeah, how about that one? Game-winning goal.
I didn't
Malkin
see it.
from
What do you
Mantha.
do?
he just gave it away.
Yeah, Penguins game. We had
Oh,
literally
God.
tied the game after being down 3-0, and it's like 3-3 with like a minute left in a third now, and he just like gave them the puck
Just like,
and Malkin
And
scored.
let me guess, he didn't back check, probably. Didn't
He
finish
gave
his
him the
check.
puck like at our blue line, and then Malkin just
great.
went in and just sniped it like immediately.
And it sucks that I kind of agree with you that the playing has just not been where it should be, but like the dude's not bad. I mean, he's talented. He's got a sick shot. He's got nasty hands. He's got size. For whatever reason, it's just not coming together for the Caps at all.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but he would have been like scratched a handful of times in the beginning of the season before they kind of caught the injury bug, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was scratched a few times, like in the last couple of weeks. Even
Credit to Laviolette for that.
Yeah, he was just fed up with
Yeah.
his bullshit, and he was like, "Let's see if this fucking does anything." And like
Yeah.
he kind of looked okay. Like the next game he was back, I was like, "All right, I guess he's responding to it," but like, he didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a fan. I like the couple of moves that they had made recently though, like the Milano signing, the Strome
Yeah.
signing.
Yeah, all
Jensen.
that is good.
I
for
think those are
sure.
great moving forward. Those guys.
It's cheap
Wheel,
things
work
that are
hard.
like, yeah, you're making a couple things stay the same way they're actually working well. Let's
Yeah.
move on to the rest of the NHL real quick. I want to get like some of your sleeper picks going into the playoffs here. Like, who do you think is going to make a deep run here on the East and on the West?
Okay, so I was thinking about this a lot earlier today. Like I said, I listened to you guys talk with Rick. So I don't want to go the Rangers route, even though that
because
is
we all
probably
did.
my pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the East, I'm going with the Hurricanes.
Okay.
Despite the Svechnikov thing, I just think that they're too fast, too well coached. Like I think that's the team to beat.
Okay.
And on the West, I'm going to go with the Avalanche. They're hot again. I think Georgiev is really good. They might
He
get
actually
Landeskog
is.
back. Like they know
Yeah.
what it takes. So
Yeah, that's a
then-
good pick.
They'll get Landy back, but like
Right.
it'll be for a week. They'll get hurt again.
And then from there, I'd say probably Canes over Avs in 7 in the Cup final.
Wow.
I
So
don't
the
hate
Avs
that.
make it back.
Avs make it back.
Wow. I like it.
I don't hate that. I still like the Canes, just like you do, despite the Svesh injury. I mean, you know, they're like a well-oiled machine. Like every
Mhm.
player knows exactly where to be. They're pesky. They're always putting pressure on the forecheck. Like I just feel like that's a team with Rod the Bod behind the bench. It's like that's going to be a really hard team to beat.
Yeah, I totally agree. And yeah, you watch them play. Every time they get the puck, they're a threat to score. No matter where on the ice, they pick the puck up behind their net. They're going to get up the ice in 2 seconds and get a scoring chance. You turn it over against them, you're toast. They're going to capitalize.
That's
Like,
pretty true.
I'll deny I ever said this, but like that's a really, really rocking arena too in the playoffs because it's the only time their fans show up for games. But it's definitely hard to win there. That's for sure.
All right, I got another good question for you here. We've got the Islanders we said are in their playoff spot technically as of this moment. We'll see how that goes. Penguins in the final playoff spot with 1 point fewer than the Isles, but people are sleeping a little bit on Florida Panthers who have 79 points, so they're 3 points behind the Penguins for that last spot, and they played the same amount of games as the Penguins. I'm going to quickly read off to you the remaining games for the Panthers, which are Ottawa, which is happening right now, Toronto, Montreal, CBJ, Buffalo, Ottawa again, the Caps, the Leafs, and then the Canes. Do you think that's a schedule that benefits them, / do you think that they can overtake the Pens?
well, it
That's
sounds
a tough
like
one.
I mean, it's half of those games seem really easy, and then the ones that like you don't really get any middle ground there.
Right.
But they've been hot. If they could beat one of those good teams, right? If they can steal one against, you said the Lightning, like
Toronto is in there. They also have the Caps like in Florida, so that should be like a win.
That's a win.
right.
Yeah.
If they can steal one of those like Maple Leafs or Hurricanes games. I think that'll probably do it. Like win
Well,
5.
The last game of the year is the one against the Canes. And I think it's I just put the schedule away, but I think it's in Florida. That it could come down to that. Like,
Right. And
of
also
course,
at that point, the Canes might even be like done. Like they may be sitting some guys at that point too.
That's a good point. Of course, the Penguins' last 3 games of the year are against Detroit, Chicago, and Columbus. So,
oh my God. Why don't you just give them the first overall pick too and another cup just for fun?
They do still have to play Boston and New Jersey though once apiece. So we'll see.
If I had to bet, I would say that the Penguins were going to get that last spot.
Okay.
Yeah,
just because it's the Penguins.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that.
And like
they're gonna get in. They're gonna get in.
And also, I don't call me crazy, but I don't want to see a playoffs without the Penguins. It just doesn't really seem right.
I mean, I'd kind of rather see the Pens in it than the Panthers. The Panthers are pretty fucking boring to me.
Stupid.
Don't you want to see me suffer, Mac? We're going to lose in 4 games to Boston. So
no, I'm down to see that. I don't really want to root for Boston at all, but I guess I will. I mean, they have Garnett and Dmitry, so.
Yep.
Also, I love how we've been doing like all these playoff previews, like speculations for the past 3 weeks. Not one person has the Bruins that we've talked to or amongst us going to the Cup final.
I know, I love that so much. It's so awesome.
I feel like we're just gonna make this first round exit for them happen. Like we're just gonna keep saying it enough where it's gonna become real.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if they end up playing the Islanders in the first round, I actually think the Islanders could beat them.
I like that matchup a lot.
That would be so fun.
They did it 2 years ago. Granted, this Bruins team is a completely different beast now, but I think that style of game could totally benefit the Islanders and they could win.
Yeah, Mac has a great theory with the President's Trophy, and it is so true.
What was my theory?
Like, just like you win the President's Trophy by that much, like you're absolutely losing in the first or second round of the playoffs.
Yeah. It's. I feel like the Islanders definitely match up against Boston better than Pittsburgh does. And
I would agree.
With Sorokin and net, like you said earlier, I mean, that dude can steal you a series. The Penguins don't have a goalie who can do that.
Of course, Casey DeSmith decided to play like a fucking Vezina candidate against the Caps the other night, but
I mean, he did blow the lead a little bit, but
yeah, well.
One of the guys I've been most impressed with on the Islanders has been Hudson Fasching. What have you liked about his game so far this year?
He is fucking awesome. Every time he gets the puck, it seems like he's making a play, like getting a scoring chance, making an assist, goal, whatever. And he's basically like bullied Josh Bailey out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Which is, if nothing else, keeps these veteran guys accountable that were looking really tired on the Islanders and frustrating to watch. So just that like spark of energy and youth is awesome.
It's good to see a guy like that who, worked as hard as he did to get to where he is, get a spot in the lineup as well. So
dude's like 27, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. 27-year-old rookie just worked his way in there.
What's the latest that you've been hearing on the Barzal injury?
That's what I was going to ask.
Is that like something that you expect for playoff time, or are we still not getting anything there?
I haven't heard anything in a while. Last that I heard, the expectation is that he would be back come playoffs. But I don't really know.
As of 3 days ago, he is still not skating.
Okay.
So do with that information what you will.
Gotcha.
I would be in a little bit of panic mode if I were an Isles fan.
Well, the thing is, since he's went down, they've put together like the best 12-game stretch they've had all season.
Of course, right? And so it works.
Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like these guys say it all the time. When Ovi's out of the lineup, the Caps actually play pretty well. Like,
right.
I mean, it's kind of the same with Sid or Gino. When one of them's out, the team ends up playing decent.
Yeah, somebody's got to carry the weight, so they all just try a little bit harder and work out. But in the long haul, obviously not. Like, if they're without Barzal against the Bruins, I don't think they have a chance.
Yeah. Mac, you go.
Is this a hockey question that you had, or
No.
Okay, well, I was gonna wrap it up and say we could talk about Lamar for a couple.
That's
minutes.
that's where I was going.
Yeah. Okay, we might as well.
Breaking news. Yeah, what, 7 hours ago, Lamar tweets as Harbaugh goes into the fucking press conference that he requested a trade on March 2nd. Steven, I know you're a Ravens fan. We are too. Not going to spend more than like 2 minutes on this, or else I will turn it into 2 hours, but I want to hear your initial thoughts.
Okay, I'll try to keep it brief. First of all, I'm just so ready to move on from all of this bullshit, whether with or without him at this point. I don't care. I just want to fucking move on.
I
It
agree.
seems like, when players request trades, more often than not, it feels real. Like, okay, they're going to get a trade done and move on. For whatever reason, this doesn't feel that way. It feels like it feels like a stunt to get people talking. It feels like he lost leverage, so he's putting this out here trying to gain that back. I don't know, the whole thing is just annoying, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Rodgers thing. It's just like, I'm tired of hearing about it every offseason. Just call me when there's an answer, let me know. Give me the little push notification when he signs his deal.
And they're trying to make these stories that aren't really there. Nobody actually knows what's going on. That's why all the Lamar Jackson news, I always you have to take it with a grain of salt, because.
Oh, yeah. It's what, the guy who's selling his, I call it the Billy Mays commercial take-home gym. Like, they said he's his agent. He's like, no. And then he tweets out the commercial, which is the worst infomercial I've ever watched. But,
I just saw apparently Meek Mill was reaching out to Robert Kraft, telling him that Lamar Jackson wants to play for the Patriots. Like, what the hell is going on here?
Who had that on 2023 bingo?
Nick, I want to end this segment with you. A lot of people are saying the only team who would probably take on this money, sacrifice the draft picks, give up the roster moves, would be none other than the team that stole the Baltimore original football team, the Baltimore Colts, the Indianapolis Colts. What are your thoughts?
No chance in hell they're going to draft someone.
But do you want it to happen?
I wouldn't hate that. It would be the best quarterback they've had since probably Andrew Luck.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like people are saying Irsay's got a crazy enough gene in him to do this.
He is, but that's also not the kind of quarterback he would go after.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes me feel better. Thank you.
Yeah. Because I think there would actually be a riot if that happened.
Yeah, you talk about never being allowed. Well, what? His dad took the Colts out of Baltimore, and then his son would take Lamar out of Baltimore. I feel like there's people would have like air traffic control restrictions.
Right. And the best part is the Colts fans will help you too, because they hate him anyways. So
yeah, I hear that. Well, I was just curious what your thoughts were.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you guys have been saying. It's just annoying that there's like all this, like, I call it ESPN fluff because it's something for them to talk about on a Tuesday at noon. But it's so annoying. I hate the NFL offseason so much.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's just fluff. Like, if I had to make a prediction, I would say that Lamar will be on the Ravens next season.
You think he plays, or you think he holds out?
I think he plays on the Ravens.
Right. My last question to you. Let's assume that they trade him or whatever. Who do you want as the quarterback?
CJ Stroud.
All right.
If it's going to be a trade, it's going to have to be to for top 5 pick, right? I think it would only be one of those teams.
You would
probably
think. You would think.
I like CJ Stroud.
Yeah. No, I don't hate it. I mean,
it would have to be a draft. There's no other quarterback in the NFL right now other than like Mahomes or Allen who I'd rather have over Lamar. Those are maybe the only 2 guys.
I feel
so. I think they'd have to look for the draft.
Yeah, most likely. Well, okay, that's enough before my blood boils. So I'm done.
All right. Well, anything else before we wrap up here, boys?
Who we got in Beer League Championship tonight, Steven?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you guys will like this. So I'm playing for the Butler Cabin, team we named after a little local dive bar. And we're playing against Express Breakfast, which is nobody saw this coming. This was the 3 and the 4 seed going into the playoffs. Both upset the 1 and 2 seed. So we got a underdog championship story tonight.
Which seed are you?
3.
Nice. I remember when I played at Reisterstown Express Breakfast. I remember they have like a couple teams, I think, too, right? Or is it just one?
Just the one now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is the 1 seed? Just out of curiosity, do you
It
remember?
was
the name?
Green Turtle.
Okay, makes
But
sense.
yeah, they went down.
Well, good luck tonight. Hoping for a big dub for you guys.
Yeah.
Go
Thanks,
get the
boys.
boat.
Yeah, put it on the water.
Oh yeah.
We appreciate it, Steven. Thanks for coming
Yeah.
on.
Thanks for joining.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
A huge thanks to all-time listener, or I'm sorry, most listened to guest of all time,
Numbers.
Steven Baker. Yeah, numbers hard.
Numbers, cool, good ones, nice.
English and numbers don't mix well with me. But seriously, appreciate Steven coming on. Always a good time chatting with him. Get some Isles takes, some Caps takes. So, and hopefully after he listens to this, he has a beer league championship. So.
True.
All righty, let's move on to the gambling portion of the episode. Going to keep this one real neat and quick. There's really one message to tell you. Bet the over. Every game goes over for the rest of time, apparently. So
It seems like it.
yeah. Thanks to our good pal Elio, aka the Iceman, and TDO, the Daily Over. You can't make money on the Oilers or the Panthers anymore because now they are now at 7.5 game totals, which is just mind-boggling. I don't know if you guys were looking at the board today, but both of them play tonight. Both are at 7.5. And I'm sure at some point in time, if this keeps going, it's going to hit 8. And it's literally because of Elio and TDO.
I saw a lot of people online saying that they're calling this like the FanDuel effect. Like now that it's like legalized a lot of places and, more acceptable in, public settings across the country, like there's sports books that you can go in and do this stuff in now, that people are saying basically for them to stay profitable, they have to put it at 7.5, because if they put it at 7 or even 6.5, they're just going to get boat raced.
Well, Elio has a literal product line that says 3 + 3 = 7. And now they're trying to take it away from him, but it's like
that is pretty funny.
Did you guys see his tweet when he was like, I accidentally wore my 3 + 3 = 7.5 to like parent teacher conference night?
That's great, dude. He's so funny. Good. I love that guy. But yeah, he has single-handedly fucked the books up with game totals. I mean, I think I'll check this right now, but the Panthers and the Oilers. I'm going to bring this up real quick. Download the app Prop Tracker if you haven't already. It's the best app in the business if you are looking for stats to bet NHL. The Oilers and the Panthers combined, when the over is at 6.5 this season, are 93 and 53. So that's 40 units. Wow. If you bet $100 on every game, you'd be up.
We should have done that.
Wow.
Damn it.
We're the empty betters, not the full betters. So yeah.
I saw something that like a $1,000 parlay, and hitting all the final 4 teams would have paid out like $4.4 million. I was like, must be fucking nice.
I heard today that like of the ESPN submitted brackets, it was some wild percentage that got it right. And it was like 1 out of every 532,000 brackets submitted got the final 4 right.
Damn.
I don't think I had one team right.
Nope, I didn't have one team right. I will say I've been in agony the last few days about how winnable this tournament was for Marquette. Like just looking at this for them, like especially their side of the bracket, having Florida Atlantic be the team that comes out of it. I'm like, oh my God, it just hurts that much more.
I'm so happy Kansas State lost. I'm sorry.
I think it's also pretty funny, not to put the guys on the spot, but from Garrett and Corey's episode 2 episodes ago, did all the predictions.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we know everything. Like this is
Corey went 0 for 4. Duke, Alabama, Houston, and UCLA at none.
Oof.
Garrett went 1 for 4. Give him credit. He had Texas, Alabama, Marquette all dead, but he did have UConn.
Yeah, that Huskies team is damn good.
Yeah. By the way, don't ever do this, but went to Don't Know Tavern on Friday night with the fellas. Always a good time. The table ended up turning into a casino, basically. Yeah. And there was a world where we were bored, so we decided it would be smart to bet every single college basketball game, the player to score the first basket, and race to 10 points just to feel something. Lost every single bet I made.
Yeah.
That kid, the kid on Creighton with the headband?
Yeah.
The lefty?
Yeah, I know who you're
Schluman.
talking about. Yeah.
Bro, that kid's insane. He's so good.
That was a
Trains every
crazy
day.
ending over the weekend.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. Back to hockey real quick. Carter Verhaeghe, over on the shots total. If it's at 3.5, he's 9-1 in his last 10. So bet the over on 3.5 shots on goal for Carter Verhaeghe. Talked about Clayton Keller earlier. He has scored in 7 of his last 10 games. You can actually get that at pretty good value, usually like plus 150 or better, depending on the opponent. And then the Columbus Blue Jackets, they're an over machine. I mean, every team's an over machine right now, but the over is 9-1 in their last 10 games. So bet the over. That's my best advice, especially with 2 weeks left in the season. It just seems like nobody gives a fuck anymore. So there's that. All right, moving on to the injuries. We'll fly through these. Eric Branson, he's out for the season with a separated shoulder. Jacob Chikrin is week to week with a lower body. That one sucks for the Senators. Josh Anderson for the Habs out the remainder of the season with a high ankle sprain. The Predators week to week, Matt Duchene with a hand injury. And
that's a tough one for them. Like they were kind of flirting
They
with
were
that wild
surging a
card
little
spot.
they're knocking on the door a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Patrick Laine out 2 to 4 weeks with a tricep strain. I know we talked about the AJ Greer suspension earlier, but another suspension that went down. Blake Lizotte suspended 1 game for cross-checking Josh Morrissey. I don't know if you guys saw a video, but I think it's pretty standard.
Yeah. I thought the Greer
really.
one was worse.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that they both got 1 game, maybe I guess that's a way you could argue. Maybe Greer
maybe you should get 2.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about that. But let's go into the best part of the episode, the State of the Union. Boys, we had a big matchup over the weekend. I just want to hear your thoughts. Just vent to me, please.
I hate this. This fucking sucks. Like, I was like,
it's okay.
I'm sitting down to watch this game. And as this game unfolds, I'm like, okay,
it's fine.
Like, here it comes again. This is going to be an early night. And then this is what they do. They do this every time. They're like, oh, like, don't go away just yet. But wait, there's more. If you call right now, we'll tie the game and then give it away with a minute to go. Like, it's just so fucking frustrating. It's been that way all year.
Yeah, I really don't have that much more to add other than what Nick says. I mean, it's shitty. I feel like I've talked about it enough on the last episodes and with the Stephen Baker Caps segment where you kind of know where I'm at, where I stand in the whole Caps specter right now. But yeah, it sucks. That game particularly really made me want to put Anthony Mantha into a spaceship and just like shoot him into the moon.
Spaceship.
I'm so done. Honestly, he doesn't deserve that.
Shoot him.
Spaceship would be fun.
I would
it's old Yeller time. Just take him out back.
No, honestly, I feel like that's something that the Cavs haven't tried yet. Is just spacing their players. Just be like, okay, if we're not going to get anything for him, like we don't know what happened, but he's gone. It's so fucking frustrating. When was the last time you had a Caps Penguins game, Mac, that like you felt went well?
We beat them once this year, didn't we?
It's that shootout win that me and Nick went to, I think.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Even that one though was like not. I don't know if I could say it went well. Yeah. That's tough.
As nice as it was to win, Jesus Christ, the Penguins never ever make it easy. And I think they now are tied with the Sharks for the most blown leads going into the third period in the NHL. I mean, that's not a great stat.
Wow.
Dude, I don't know if you guys saw me on Twitter, fuming, like throwing pillows at television angry. And like it's just infuriating. And the way it all went down was so stupid. And this is going to sound biased. That penalty on Malkin, where they called him roughing on Wilson, where he kind of like gave him a shove in the spine. That's the softest call I've ever seen. I'm sorry. Like, and I'll call it when it's like due, but that was like a love tap. Like, come on now. But yeah, I mean, they blow the lead again, but man, the way that game ended and the fashion, like it was too good. But I want to hear the Caps Twitter Anthony Mantha takes. Did you guys see anything good on there?
I got a text from someone good friend of ours, longtime listener of the show, and they were basically like, I want to put him in a blender and blend him into pieces. It's like, okay,
Human.
wow.
Can I
Human
get like
blender.
some credit, because I've been saying all year how much I freaking hate this guy.
You
And
have.
and for some reason, Caps Twitter, they're so quick to crucify guys like Lars Eller all season long, and they want to defend dudes like Mantha and McMichael all year, being like, "Oh,
That's just denial.
Laviolette just doesn't know where to put them. These guys are so good." Blah 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 blah. And now, when Anthony Mantha gives away has the worst giveaway of the entire season, the most important part of the entire season, now finally everyone's like, "Oh, this guy sucks," and I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
brother, this guy stinks.
exactly. I was hoping one of you would hit that. So, yeah, no, I just want to say I've been on that wagon all year.
On the
It
hate
may-
train.
It makes me sad. First empty betters hockey season that we've had. We've been in business since what, 2019? Where the
Correct.
Caps will not make the playoffs, and we still have yet to have a Penguins Caps matchup since we started the pod.
That's
What's-
the part that really sucks, honestly.
Both teams have not won a playoff series since we started.
we
this
fucking
podcast.
cursed
that
them, yeah.
really blows.
Wouldn't it be nice if like one of our
It's been
teams
4 years. Like,
Yeah, no, I know. And the Penguins aren't going to win a series. I mean, listen, I love putting the pitchfork in your season. I love maybe ending the Laviolette era with that beautiful low blocker snipe from Gino.
yeah.
But we still suck. And like,
Hey,
we're
by
not
the
going to
way,
win anything.
Mantha deserves all the shit on that goal, but I don't know, man. Kemper, are you even in the right spot? Like, I don't think that was that much of a snipe. Like,
He was really far out.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's a giveaway with no time to react, so you really can't blame Kemper. I'm just trying to like throw thorns at everybody on the team because I'm salty about it. so.
When Gino scored, Kemper kind of like put his head up and turned around, and he was literally almost at the face-off circle. I was like, man, he was really out there. I don't know. I'm not a goalie guy, but I'm pretty sure when you're that aggressive, you know, I don't know where I'm going with that, but
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So Caps are dead, Pens are alive. See what happens. 9 games left in the season. At least you guys have a shot at Bedard. It's all worth it if you land him.
If the Washington Capitals somehow ended up with the first overall pick, I don't know what I would do.
All right, wait.
I
time
would
out.
be
We're going somewhere with
so
this.
happy.
The
Like,
entire NHL would get so upset.
oh, it would
like-
be like overnight hate for everyone.
So
we would become like the most hated team in the league.
Yeah.
So all right, let's put something out there. If the Washington Capitals somehow win the lottery and land Connor Bedard, I feel like you two gotta like have some type of like cool thing that you guys would do.
I will get a
like-
Connor Bedard tattoo if the Washington Capitals land Connor Bedard
Just a 98
or something.
Mac.
I gotta think of something to go along with that.
You-
I
Nick-
will buy a bearded dragon, and I will name him Connor. I'll buy a bearded dragon and name him
Connor
Connor.
Beardard.
Connor Beardard, yo. Yes, I will do that if if the Caps get him. You can take that one to the bank.
I will say this. If the Caps somehow are fortunate enough to win this lottery and get this
Ugh.
draft pick, I don't think I think that makes it about even for all the bad luck that they've had.
Oh my God.
And I
Yeah.
won't ever complain again.
Yeah, same.
please clip this. That was too good. That was phenomenal. Connor Beardard.
Oh, it's excellent.
All right. Nick.
I just imagine like us doing this podcast and there's like a terrarium on Mac's desk and this thing is just
I'm
like
over here. like
it's
feeding
like
him
the
crickets.
it's like the dinosaur from Jurassic Park, like the little one that like spits like the poison shit in like, the person's face, like
feeding
just
them
all
worms
puffed
and
up,
crickets,
like,
and I'm just like, ah, man. I mean, that goal last night was
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh my
or
God.
just I would really look
Ah.
forward to you having to explain to people like how and why you had to go out and buy this.
you got a bearded dragon. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What's its name? Connor Beardard.
Yeah.
All my non-hockey fans, like, what?
They're like, oh, because you like beer?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just
You're like,
That's-
just we don't need to talk about it.
Yep.
How good are your editing skills where you can add a bearded dragon on back shoulder right now?
Oh, please put them right here.
Oh my
Here,
god.
this you can put a worm in my hand right
Yeah.
here. Break it. I'm tweeting a worm. There we go.
God
Right
damn
there.
it.
Oh my god.
Now
All
I
right.
really want this to happen.
I think I might sacrifice the next 20 years of my emotional well-being just to see that.
Yeah. That would be fun.
That would be incredible. All right. Let's move on to college hockey. I'll toss it off to Nick.
Frozen 4 won me some money. Unfortunately, Bitchigan took I was definitely betting for my happiness though. So we all knew that was going to happen. Matchups are set. You got BU and Minnesota Thursday, April 6th at 5 p.m. And then you got Michigan and Quinnipiac right after at 8:30. Both of those games should be insane, but I feel like we're just kind of beating around the bush for the matchup we want to see here. And that's Minnesota, Michigan, because guys, I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've seen a college hockey team as good as that Minnesota Gophers team in my lifetime. And
Filthy.
I think they're going to get it done this year. And the drought.
They are nasty. That would
Yeah.
be a fun matchup as long as a certain team doesn't win.
Yes, as long as a certain team doesn't win. Logan Cooley is insane. Snuggerud is insane. The younger Middlestat brother, awesome. They've got like two defensemen, Jackson Lacombe being one of them, they just look like they're NHL defensemen already. The way they move the puck, the way they shoot the puck. That should be fun. Championships on the 8th. Should be a good one.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Is the final or Frozen 4 games? It starts Thursday. Are they both Thursday?
Yep, 5 and 8:30.
Okay, sounds good. And then the championships on the 8th. Got it. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. By the way, I had no idea Penn State was good, like that good at hockey. They were.
They turned
yeah.
that program good real fast. It's impressive what they've done there.
That was a club program not that long ago. One thing with Penn State though, like you got to get rid of that dumbass stripe on your helmet.
You think so? I kind of
them in
No,
Ohio State.
I don't like it.
hate
It's not
their-
football, man. I don't know
Thank
why they
you.
do that.
That
And I get
Ohio
it. It's like,
State does
oh,
the
we're
same
football
thing.
schools, so it's like we're trying to make everyone think it's the same thing. It's like, nah, dude. No.
They
Like,
have a white helmet, right, with the blue stripe.
right down the middle. Yeah.
I feel like if you get rid of the stripe, then you just need to have a navy blue helmet. I don't like the white.
Sure.
An
I
all white
don't
helmet
care.
seems
Yeah.
good. Well, you guys are uniform geeks. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
true.
just get rid of the stripe. That's the important part.
Yeah. I don't like that Ohio State does like the stupid Buckeye stickers on the helmet.
That
Like,
is so dumb.
it's like
That
once
is so
again, this
dumb.
is
It's
not football. We
Yeah.
get that that's like the
And-
one thing
And
anyone
I think
knows
it's
about
dumb
you,
in
but-
football. I actually have
Yeah.
always hated that in football. I think it's dumb as shit.
Okay, then moving on to trivia. New
All right.
segment.
Yes, new segment here. I got a trivia question for you guys. We're gonna be doing this moving forward. So I might not do it this way every time, but at least to start us out here, I want to do like a on this day in hockey history situation here. So,
Ooh.
I'm gonna read you off a stat that happened on this day in hockey history, and you gotta tell me who I'm talking about. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. On March 27th, 1980, this player set an NHL record for the most points by a rookie defenseman when he picked up his 61st point of the season.
Paul Coffey.
If you need another hint, I can tell you what team he was playing for and like what happened in that game.
My first guess was also going to be Paul Coffey, but
Incorrect.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
What team?
So he picked up his 61st point of the season in a 7-1 Boston Bruins win over the Blues.
Bobby Orr.
Wrong again.
80 Bork.
Yes.
Nice.
Ray Bork. Ding, ding, ding.
There you go.
Yep. 1980. Yeah, that lines up.
March 27th, 1980.
Damn.
Wow.
He was a rookie in 1980.
Yes, sir.
Here's a wild one that I saw on the internet. This would actually be, I mean, you guys aren't Pens fans, but it actually made me think a little bit. Can you name the 3 Penguins captains prior to Sidney Crosby?
Oh,
man.
I mean, a couple of them are obvious. but
Mario.
Lemieux, yeah.
It's one.
Tom
def-
Barrasso.
A goalie, but no, you definitely know the second one. It's very, very obvious.
It wasn't Yager.
Yeah, he was a when
He was
Lemieux,
a captain for the
He was
Penguins?
captain of the Penguins?
Well, Lemieux
What?
retired. Remember, Lemieux was
That's
retired
right.
after '96.
Oh, okay.
So those two are obvious. The other one really tripped me up. I was like, I guess it makes sense when you hear it. Like you can guess this. It's just you might not think of it.
But it's before all that, right?
It was kind of simultaneous.
Okay.
So
it
put
was
this
in
way.
between Yager and Crosby.
I think so.
Okay.
Or it was in between Lemieux and Yager. I can't remember which one. It's one of the two. It's like that late 90s.
No, it
early
would have had to have
2000s.
been after you. There's no way that because
I
who
don't
did
know.
Crosby take it from? It had to be who Crosby took
Lemieux,
it from.
he took it from
Lemieux.
Lemieux.
Oh,
Because
okay.
when Lemieux came back, he was captain after Yager left. But yeah.
Right.
So if you can, I'm just curious. Give it one guess, and here's your hint because this is
Is it a defenseman?
It is not.
Okay.
Here's your hint, and this might give it away, but this was a hard one for me. This guy is currently a general manager in the NHL.
Billy G.
No, he wasn't a Penguin at that time.
That's a good guess. That's what I would have said.
It's tough. West Coast.
What jersey number did they wear with the Penguins?
Was it 10? Might have been 10. I can't remember. Sound like an idiot. Pacific Division General Manager. If you know those off the top of your head, I guess that would
I'm like
obviously play a
trying to
factor.
think of them.
Mac is going hard on that.
This is killing me because I feel like Pacific Division General Manager.
Mm-hmm. Was a captain of the Pittsburgh Penguins for a brief amount of time.
In the late 90s?
In the late 90s.
Ron Francis?
Yes, sir.
God
let's
damn
go.
it.
Let's
Bingo.
go.
Yep.
I should have gotten
I'm
that
proud
when
of
you said
myself for
10. That is a good one, man.
Was he? I think he was 10.
He was definitely
That
10 when he
sounds
was
right.
with the
That
Hurricanes
sounds right.
and the Whalers. I know
That one, I had
Yeah.
no idea that was like. I'm thinking of all the NHL video games I've played, and I was like, he must have been captain right before the PS2 was a real thing.
I was like running into like the early 2000s there too. I was like, was Matt Cook the captain?
I know. That's
of
what
the
I was trying to
Pittsburgh
think of
Penguins?
first. I was trying to think of somebody random as fuck like that. But once you said the GM thing, that got me going a little bit.
Yeah, that was a hard one. I was definitely tripped up on that one.
Who was the captain before Mario? Like, does anyone even know that, or did it just say not Mario?
I don't know.
Let me see. Let me look it up real quick.
I think Mario became captain in like 88 or something
Mario
like that.
became captain in 87. In the
87.
87-88 season. Before that, it was some guy named Daniel Frawley.
Nope.
Okay.
And before that, it was Terry Ruskowski.
Do you have the year that Francis was captain on there?
Yeah, let me see. So Lemieux was captain he became captain at some point during the 87-88 season, and he was captain all the way until the end of the 94 season. Then Ron Francis was captain 94-95.
Oh, it wasn't late 90s. Okay.
Then it was Lemieux again 95-6 and 96-7. And then it was Ron Francis again 97-98.
Okay, I was right.
And then it was Yager from 98 to 01. Damn, I did not realize Yager was the captain
for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Hell?
And then
Those 3
Lemieux was
years.
captain for 4 more years from 01 to 06, basically.
Yeah. Well, Yager,
There's
those
a
3
lockout,
years.
but-
Yager was a fucking beast because he didn't have to share the ice or touches with anybody. He just had the puck
True.
the entire game. So
Yeah.
He was also captain of the Rangers.
yeah.
What the hell?
I don't
In
see him as a
two-
captain at
2000,
all, dude.
2006, I think he was the captain of the Rangers. That team was nasty.
They were.
He was never the captain of the Flyers, right? When he
No, I don't
But he
think
might.
so.
Did he have an A? Maybe.
I think he had an A with the Caps.
He might have.
He might
That
have.
that year that Joe Thornton and Chichu ran the league on fire, I think it was right after the first lockout. I'm pretty sure Yager had like 100 and something points on the Rangers.
Yeah.
Chichu had 50 that year, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shooter.
And
All right, well,
Thornton had
good
like
trivia. Good
yeah,
trivia.
that went
Yeah.
down a dark hole. Sorry, everybody. But yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. If you guys don't have any final notes, we'll wrap it up here. Nothing? All good?
It's lizard time.
Wow. Okay then. All right, everybody. Thanks for the love and support as always. And without further ado,
Class dismissed.